Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well. It is quite a very nice morning here. I'm recording this literally just a few days after the general election. This is my first Speaking My Mind episode since the era of Labour has started. And we're definitely going to talk about that today, guys. And then normally, sometimes I try to go off politics topics when you speak in my main episodes. But also I feel like I want to do one where I'm literally just freelancing how I feel and my thoughts about the future. Now, obviously, I might even put this up earlier, soon enough for viewers. So, how do I feel about the result of the general election on the top of my head? I'm delighted to see the back of so many Conservatives gone. I'm delighted that so many of the cabinet ministers and MPs who were so vile, so cruel, so inhumane and so disgusting with some of their rhetoric have been kicked to the curb. The likes of Jacob Rees-Mogg, the like of Liz Truss, especially her crashing the economy, I think was a massive win for us. If you tactically voted at the general election, thank you. We greatly appreciate your tactical voting. My constituency didn't really, here in Lewisham East, didn't really have an impact on the general election at all. But what I will say is, obviously, in those constituencies where you have Conservative strong and you voted tactically to oust them, seriously, well done for you. And if you helped push other people to voting tactically within the best interests of the UK, or whether that's in England, Scotland or Wales, again, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate that, because it really has shaped and shifted the landscape. I also want to say, if you're somebody who chose not to vote for the Conservative Party or even the Labour government, and you decided to cast your vote towards some of the other fringe parties instead, although I don't agree with people voting reform, at the end of the day that is your choice. But if you voted for the likes of the Liberal Democrats, the Greens or the Independents, I want to say a massive thank you as well, because you have given more diversity of voices within the House of Commons. That's really important for me. One of the things that we had for a long time is too much of the bigger voices of the two main parties, Liberal Democrats having a small infringement, and then the SNP obviously had their voice. I'm sorry to see so few SNPs gone, but there's a lot of factors into that, unfortunately, as well. But we have a very diverse range, groups now. We have 5 Reform MPs, we have 4 Green MPs, we have 72 Liberal Democrats, we have 9 SNPs, we have over 120, I think it is, Conservative MPs, and I have over 400 Labour MPs in the House of Parliament. Now, obviously, I would like to have seen it a bit more diverse, a bit more numbers for some of the fringe parties, but that is the electoral system that we have. So now this new era, what comes? I suppose another thing that's going to be asking is, what's happening with you, Regan, with the channel? Is there something going to be any big changes? Are they going to be like, are you done now? And I was just like, no, the work, I said this before, for those because I know some people I've been curious about that, and the work does not stop, guys. But the question about me going back into some kind of work is definitely something I am on the cards of looking at, guys. I am going to be looking to go back into some kind of part-time work, but the work, whether I will get something or not, is a question. Obviously, that will make fundamental changes to the channel if I do manage to find some part-time work. And the reason for that is, guys, is just for financial reasons. This is the only main reason. I mean, the channel is doing great. It's going in the right directions, of course, but it's not enough for me to live on. It's not ideal. It's not ideal right now, but it could potentially be something I can do full-time in the future. I've been doing this full-time now since I left my job, since since September/October, I've been going full blown into being a content creator for YouTube. And without a shadow of a doubt, I'm very grateful to each and every one of you out there who has helped and supported me, whether it's liked, shared, commented, and not even including those who have financially supported me in any way, shape or form. You know who you are, and I'm very grateful for that. But I have to be realistic about my own goals and dreams, and I have to look about the financial picture as well. I'm still not making enough money to be in the green, shall we say, in terms of income. Although, without a shadow of a doubt, you guys being YouTube members have helped that. It is still not enough at the moment. So I've made some compromises with some friends and family about my situation. So I am going to be looking at some point, as soon as I can make time, obviously apply for a bunch of part-time jobs. At this point, I'm not really just looking for something, at least whether it's 12 hours or 20 hours, something like that. I'm not looking to go back into full-time work. I want to stress that. I'm not looking to get to do that again, because I don't need to go back into full-time work, guys, because of the income I make from YouTube and from Patreon. I will get my Patreon supporters as well. Because of the income I make from both of them, I don't need to go back full-time into work, but I do need to go back to work at some capacity. I don't know, my position's kind of changed a few times on what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go back into retail, but part of me feels like, well, if I go back into retail, at least I can do it for a part-time, can make some decent income. But then I've got to figure out how to balance that with YouTube and normal life and whatnot as well. Those are questions I need to ask him. The other thing as well is I've got some really important events coming up. Not this month, but next month. I've got a lot of events coming up that I'm going to be going to. So I need to obviously balance them out as well, which is going to be interesting to say the least as well. So I've got quite a lot to deal with. As you guys may have noticed, obviously the channel has had a bit of a makeover as well, and I thought it was appropriate to do a bit of makeover on the channel, given that we are no longer in a Conservative era, that we are in a Labour government era as well, and I thought that was important as well. So just finally on the general election, in all seriousness, I am sceptical about Labour. I'm sceptical about Prime Minister Keir Starmer. I have my doubts, guys, and I understand the doubts that people have about them. I really do, and you guys know I've been critical of them, but we have to give them a chance to see what they can do. If you've got to give people an opportunity to show what they can do. At the end of the day, we may not like the electoral system, but this is what the overwhelming majority of the public voted for. In terms of vote share and the system that we have. Yes, I know it's not a fair system, but that's the system we have, guys. The reality is, Labour are the government. Keir Starmer is your Prime Minister. There's no election rigging whatsoever. Don't go claiming that BS whatsoever. There's none of that here. And I'm very glad, very, very glad we did not hear that from the likes of Reform or the Conservatives, because that did worry me. I was a bit worried that some people might start to claim that some kind of election rigging of some sort. So I was generally concerned about that after the result came in. But they did say, in terms of the system itself, is not fair, which is true, which is why we need proportional representation. But the actual election wasn't rigged. And I think necessarily the actual election itself was not rigged. But what do you guys honestly think? And how do you feel about me going back to part-time into work, which would obviously mean reduction and stuff on the channel? or if you have other ways that maybe I can make money without the needs of obviously deterring from my time on YouTube, without reducing my time on YouTube, let me know some suggestions in the comments down below, or some ideas, suggestions that I could build on my YouTube membership, or other ways that I can continue to get to a point where I can financially be stabilized. Let me know your thoughts and some ideas down in the comments section below, guys. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.